Hello guys, it's Glurmit here and welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking a little bit about the raid. I understand lots of content creators at this point have made loads of videos on this, loads of videos showing you how to use each team, and I'll try my best to link a lot of those videos other people have made in the description so you guys can actually go check them out. A lot of the content creators for this game are awesome people, make great content, and yeah, if you guys can watch their content and mine, then that's great. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the raid and the different splits we can actually do in the raid. So this is more of a theory based rather than actually showing you how the counters work. Small disclaimer guys, I am not fully raid ready. I will be getting maybe 7 to 8 million score in the raid within the next month if all things go to plan. So guys, the first thing is, if you farmed Jedi Master Mace Windu, right, you're going to actually get yourselves 2 teams. Now, just bear in mind, as of making this video, all the teams work perfectly fine. There is a small chance that they nerf the raid. They've said they're looking into it. I don't think they care necessarily about the 3-man squads, but I do think they care about the solo squads, which we'll be talking about later on. So I think those are the ones that are maybe going to get changed. I can't imagine them nerfing the Jedi Master Mace Windu team or the Kelleran Beq team. I don't think those ones are going to change. So, if you farm Jedi Master Mace Windu, you are going to have Depper and a Temple Guard at Relic 5 minimum, because you need this for the unlock, guys. So you're going to have this regardless of if you prioritize it or not, right? So if you farm him, you can use Jedi Master Mace Windu, Depper, and Temple Guard as a 3-man squad. Now, you do need very good mods on Temple Guard to make this reliable or easy, so you'd have to refresh loads. You're looking at like 300 plus speed, which is quite difficult to get because Temple Guard is a very slow character, as shown here. Now, I've got them modded for Grand Arena at 0 speed, so that's their base speed, guys. You can see you need like a 150 mod set to get them fast enough to do the raid. And if you are going to do that, I'll link the videos as I said, but the main thing is you want them to be fast, but not fast enough to go first, because you need to ability block them after they've taken a turn. So that is one team you can actually run for the raid. Another team you can run is Kelleran Beq with Jocasta and any Jedi. As shown here, you can run Shaq, you can run Ayla, you can run Plo. If you want to make this safer, you can actually run a 4-man and you can put Plo Koon as the 4th in either of these 2 teams, and then that gives you a second squad. But if we're talking about conserving your resources, making life easier, you're actually probably going to be better off going for the before mentioned, which is just Kelleran Beq with Jocasta and whoever you choose. Now, for some of you, this is going to depend on where you are in the game. If you're going for Jedi Master Mace Windu, I would say Ayla is the better one if you want to take a team to R7, R8, or R9, right? Because Jocasta and Ayla are going to go in that team, in Grand Arena Territory Wars, you name it. If you're someone who's going to skip him, maybe you didn't like the way he looks, maybe you just don't really want to farm new content straight away, and you still have Jocasta, then I would actually recommend you do Shaq T and Plo, or just Shaq T, right? And the reason for this is she has more utility and versatility in the game, in my opinion, than Ayla does. Ayla is good with Mace Windu if you have her Zeta. Shaq T is good in almost any team. You can use her in a Kelleran Beq team, you can use her in a clone team, you can use her in a Queen Amidala team. Like, you have way more options when it comes to team building if you build up Shaq T instead. So that's kind of where I would go. Also, just bear in mind, Shaq T is a GL requirement at Relic 7. So you're not going to be in a bad spot if you choose to do her instead and just stop at the Relic 7 tier. Then if you want to run a easy, you can almost hit auto sort of team, you can run Kelleran Beq, Shaq T, Barris, Plo, and Jocasta. And in terms of time saving, obviously you're going to be spending less time in a raid. So for some of you who are busy, it may just make more sense to take the whole team up. Just bear in mind, most of these characters are very good in this game. I mean, Kelleran Beq's a requirement at R7, Shaq T's a requirement at R7, Plo Koon's a requirement at R8. Barris is not, but I wouldn't be surprised if she is at some point. Also, just bear in mind, Barris is a very, very strong character in this game who can be used in a lot of compositions, so you're not going to miss out or regret it, should I say, if you choose to take her up. And obviously Jocasta Nu is here as well, and she's a good character to have. So that's another team you can run, but if you want to be more efficient with your resources, I would run one of these two. Now guys, the next team is a little bit of a weird one. So there's a couple of variations we have here with Luminara. So maybe you're someone who has progressed in the previous Naboo raid to a decent extent, and maybe you've actually got Luminara at high relics, Qui-Gon at high relics. You can run this team here: Luminara, Qui-Gon, Hondo, Nest, and Sana. And on the tier 3, so the first relic tier, you can actually do a decent score. You're not going to be maxing anything necessarily. However, you're still going to be getting an okay passable score with characters you may not have used already. However, if you want to use just everything, you can. And Barriss is here again. You can actually run Luminara, Qui-Gon, Barriss, Kit Fisto, and I'm Die. But you do need him geared up, and it is kind of a weird one, but this one you can also max out tier 2, or you can make some progress into tier 3, which is not the greatest in comparison to other teams, guys. But as far as old characters go, if you can do this team and a couple of the others I'm going to talk about later, it's really not too bad. Also guys, I am well aware that the webcam's a little bit funny. I've not got the setup perfect to what I would like. So yeah, in a couple of videos it will be a little bit more centered, and I won't be like above you guys. Like it's a weird one, I know, but hey, just bear with it for a few videos. Then we have another team, guys, and this is if you don't have Luminara. I'm going to be honest, Luminara, I've got her Omicron, obviously I've got her at Relics. I applied her Omicron hoping it would be good, and just every time there could be a possibility it can work, it's just the teams just don't work with it. You can't use the Omicron on any teams that have protection up. And you also can't use her in the Mace team because Mace is, or Ayla should I say, is calling out for characters that don't have leader tags, and Luminara has a leader tag. So I'm a little bit disappointed about that. I wish I hadn't have done it. So if you're in my position, except you haven't done her, and you were thinking about doing her, instead you can run Barriss, Shakti, Plo Koon, Hondo, and Nest as another good mid-tier team. So there's a couple of options there. In terms of Bad Batch, as you can see, guys, I'm on the way to full R9 Bad Batch. I do have Crosshair almost at 5 stars here. And guys, this team does work very nicely in the R9 tier. Now, we don't know how it will work going forward, because at the moment there is a bug where the R9 modifier is actually applying throughout all the phases. And when that gets fixed, we don't know how it's going to perform at R8, which is why I've started the process of R9ing. But if you're an end game player, or you really like the Bad Batch, I'm actually kind of... It's a weird one. When a team released, I wasn't interested. Now I've started using them. They are quite a fun team. There's some really cool mechanics in there. They're good in territory wars, good in territory battles, decent in Grand Arena. So yeah, this is another team you can run if you want to go for those high tier R9 phases. Then we have... This is a very interesting team, guys. And it is Tarkin with clones. Now, you can run a Gear 12 Tarkin, well modded, to solo phase 1 for 300k points. Now, if we go back to the teams from before, you guys remember I said is worth farming these teams or using these older ones because you're still going to gain bonuses. So say you're using this Luminara team, that's like 600k-ish on average, and then let's say you get the 300k from Tarkin, you're now sitting at 900k raid score, which is not bad for early game players and pretty accessible. However, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, they're looking into these sort of undemands, and I can see the solos being removed. You can also run Tarkin with Apo for any 2-man, just full auto in the first 2 phases, or first 2 tiers of the raid. Again, I can see that one being changed. Now, where it gets better, you can actually run Tarkin with Scorch in the R9 tier to max it. And this one does take a little bit of RNG, but it's very doable. And if you do that, you can actually split it into Apo, Clone Trooper, CX2 as an additional 3-man squad, and also max the R9 tier, but that one is RNG dependent. Now, I can see these ones being changed. I don't think they're going to like anything less than a 3-man team, and especially when there's no leader. So I can potentially see them saying, well, you can try and do Scorch, but you'll need Apple as well, right? So I can see that being a change. I don't think they're going to remove all of the low man teams, but at the moment, in the current state of the raid, there is nothing stopping someone from getting like 12 million score with like a minimum of 6 to 7 Relic 9s. If you think about it, guys, if you had the Relic 9 tier, you're getting just over 3 million raid score. You could do 2 Relic 9s for 1. You can do 3 Relic 9s, so you're now going up to 5 for 6, almost 7 million score. And then you can get just over 10 million score by doing an additional 3. And you only have to do 8 Relic 9s to achieve that. And then that's not to mention, you still have another team you can run, and you could run the Bad Batch team, you could run the clone. You see where I'm going with this, guys? It's, at the moment, I think they're not happy with the amount of investment that you need to put in order to get the raid scores. I'm not saying it's correct or it's right, I hate it, but I can see these ones being changed. I can also see these teams being changed, guys. So as you can see, you've got a Nest solo you can perform, a Hondo solo you can perform, and a Tarkin solo you can perform. Now just note, guys, that these only work in the first tier of the raid. However, if you have all 3 of these characters, that is 900,000 score in the raid. So if you could do all 3 of these, and then if you can do 1 high tier character, such as say Beq, Jocasta Nu, Shakti, you are looking at around about 5 million score in a raid for the cost of what? 3 Relic 8 or 3 Relic 9s, right? So that's kind of how I would do the raid splits. There are going to be more. This is just all the information I've gathered over the last week or so since the raid has launched. These are the most reliable ones. There are lots of other compositions coming out, but this is how I would do raid splits, or the teams I would farm. Now obviously I've tried to include some teams for endgame players, some teams for mid-game players, and obviously some for early game. I will have a free-to-play video dedicated to this on my free-to-play account, which I have been playing. The progress is lower than I would want at this point due to life, as you would know, guys. I'm farming Bad Batch. I don't really recommend it to R9. I do think there's better teams you can potentially be going for, but yeah, take some of these teams, farm them. The raid's gonna be around for minimum a year, probably a bit longer. They're gonna nerf it, they're gonna change it, obviously. I can't imagine these ones will change that much. I don't think the Beq team or the Jedi Master Mace Windu team is really gonna change, or if it does, it just means you have to do the 3-man and then you have to run the 4-man. And the reason I don't think that's gonna change, guys, is because how long was Queen Amidala working with her team as a 3-man in the last raid? So I don't think they're unhappy with 3-man squads for the marquee characters, because you still have to spend and divert more resources to get them. But it's these ones down here that I think they have an issue with, where you can basically just farm one team, split them up, and it just somehow maxes out. So whereas with these ones you still have to do 6 Relics 9s minimum to get that 7 million-ish score, with the one down here you can literally farm 4 characters. Maybe Tarkin's already farmed, right? So it's 4 new characters, and for that price you're getting the same as the other ones. Please share this video to your guildmates. It does help the channel a bunch, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Have a glutman day.